Hey, good morning and welcome to Hockey Off the Turf with Beanie and Mary. This week, it's Beanie and I talking hockey. We're going to talk about why we do this podcast and all the stories of how we got to the place we are in the hockey world. We are so dedicated to promoting hockey in the 757. So all our listeners out there, spread the word, listen, and please reach out if there's any subject matter you want to hear about. I thought after our last podcast, and I've had a few comments as to why the two of us are the ones doing this podcast. So I figured this is why we're going to do this today, Beanie.
Okay.
You and I have a history. Gosh, when did you start?
Right out of college. My first job was in 91.
And I started in 89. So we've been around Virginia hockey for a long time.
Yeah.
I came from Pennsylvania, played hockey in a little school called Lower Moreland, and then went on to play at college at Lock Haven University. And it's funny, it's on my resume is that we have 2 national championships, but I don't claim either of them because the one I was in a ACL had an ACL tear, so I was in a cast. And then the other one, I never got in the game, never played. And Sandy Miller, who coaches at East Stroudsburg now,
Yeah.
she was the girl that I went in for. And the only problem was that she never came out of the game. So I never got to go in the game. But I have 2 national championships, so I say. My first job down here was with Fran Hermance at Lafayette High School, who was in the Ring of Honor Hall of Fame. And I learned so much in 1 year from her. She was such a great role model. And then 1989, Norfolk Academy gave me the call and just retired from there this past spring. And this first year of not being involved in hockey is so strange.
Yeah.
And I've been on a hockey team or a hockey field since 1976. It's
Wow.
crazy.
Yeah.
And so NA started as a grass surface, and the program got to be really solid in the private school world. And we had a hard time competing. FC, Maury, Cox back in your early days.
Maury,
And
really?
I don't think we beat you guys.
I don't remember playing you at
I
Maury.
remember playing against Pishko and Margaret Sarkon
Oh,
and all
okay.
them.
Okay. Oh,
And
God.
yeah,
One of my
you
favorite
had
2 people.
you had some really good, solid. Those 2 being in particular, good, solid club players. And I think I had maybe 1, and we just couldn't keep up with you. We tried, and it was like the Cox game last night. You dominated the entire game, but it was close. But you always won. So that was always my big goal, was to compete with the public schools locally. And we are fortunate enough to have now a turf field, thanks to some generous donors. And Sandy Selassie and I started Tokoyo. And the combination of the 2 is really what put Norfolk Academy on another level.
Oh, yeah. You guys totally
Yeah,
quick.
we went real. And, there was only at that time, I think, 2 private schools in the country that had national turf surface. Now I think they're up to 5 or 6. Sure.
Mm.
But NA has done very well and has won over 30 league and conference tournament championships, 6 state titles, and nationally ranked as high as number 1. I thought it was number 2, but I was wrong. So we got number 1, and I guess that was back in 2023.
No, I think it was like 18. Well, wait. When did Brooke graduate?
Brooke graduated 2023, so 2022 probably.
Okay, yeah.
So that was the history of Mary Werkheiser in short. How about you, Bean?
I grew up in Virginia Beach. I played at Kellum High School. Loved it. I played basketball, softball, and field hockey. I went to Longwood College and played all 4 years. Started coaching right out of high school for a hot second at Lake Taylor. I coached softball and field hockey.
Under Bobby Pannebacker?
Yep.
Yep.
Actually, no, it was with Bert Harrell at first.
Oh, really?
And he just passed away a couple years ago. And then Bobby Pannebacker took over.
Bobby's still there.
I know. He actually lives in my neighborhood. Then I went to Maury, and I knew I was going to go to Maury, so I stopped coaching at Lake Taylor for a year. Went to Maury, didn't coach my first year. Then I took over the program, and I was there from 2000 to 2009. Kind of rebuilt that program, and then I loved Maury. My last year there, not my last year, probably 2006, I think. We played Cox in the state final, which was huge for Maury, Norfolk School.
Yeah. Yeah.
and we lost 2-1 in the final, which Cox was definitely better, but it was a good showing for us. And I had really young kids, like you said, Ann Pishko, uh, Margaret Sarcone, which I call her Roxy. It's kind of funny.
Yeah.
I met her in middle school and I coached at Blair, and there was 70 million kids out there. So I was identifying people like an orange sweatshirt, pink sweatshirt, and she had a pink Roxy sweatshirt on. So I started calling her Roxy.
Roxy, is that how she got the nickname?
Yeah.
Okay.
And I've always called her that. That's how she is on my phone. But I left there because I wanted to coach Haley, my daughter. And I just kind of put my application out there and I got the job at First Colonial. So I was at FC from 2010 to 2022, built the program there. We were in the state final 10 out of 12 years. We won 3 state titles in 2011, 2012, and 2015. Ranked us high nationally in #1, which was great. Like Mary, my goal was to take as many kids as I could to the next level, to go D1. And at one point, a parent, Bob Jones and Brian Hogan, I were trying to figure out how many kids that from Maury too. I mean, Rachel White went to BU,
Yeah.
and Ann went to Longwood. There's several. I mean,
Right.
there's a few,
Yeah.
but most of my kids obviously from First Colonial. So Haley was National High School Player of the Year in 2015, first one ever from this area.
Probably the only one.
Yeah, the only one. Yeah, I think so, but I'm not 100% sure. Then she went on to play at Duke, and then she was on the 17, 19, 21 national teams, and then she was on the national team. And then I'm here, which is great.
Small world, isn't it?
Tomorrow now I officiate full
Well,
time.
it's interesting you talk about wanting to coach your daughter. I never had that opportunity. I never wanted, because I would say the sky is blue. She'd say, no, it's purple. Like she always was combative with me. So I was like, best. I would tell Sandy, her coach, her high school coach, tell her to get her ass and get in gear or whatever. And Sandy would, whatever I said, she would just completely ignore. But if Sandy said it, it was okay. So I learned how to quickly.
Right. So, and the only reason so coaching Haley, she was, and even at the time I made this decision, she was like in 5th grade. So she was so good. And I didn't know this at the time. Thank God she was this way I was mom and then I was coach. So she's the one who gave me the name Beans. So so all the girls call me Beans or Beanie. No one ever called me coach or whatever. When she started playing, for her, it was always coach. And she was really good at like separating the two, which I think is not normal.
No.
I don't think
No,
it's normal.
isn't.
So I got really lucky. But she also is the one who, like, we would come home from a game if we had, and at the time, the only team we would ever lose to if we lost would be Cox. And she would come home and I'd be on the back porch and she's like, you want to talk? You want to talk about it? I'm like, if you want to, but I would never go to her because I don't want to be that mom like, yeah, like her
Right.
dad was. Her
Right.
dad was always in her. I'm like,
Yeah.
stop.
That was for Casey's dad.
Yeah.
I had to learn how to be mom and not be.
Yeah. So, and I separated it well too, I think, for the most part. I'm sure there were times when I did not, but for the most part, I think I was pretty good about it. And she was too. So there was never, like, practice, it was never an issue.
Right.
But like I said, I just don't think that was the norm. No.
I wonder how many mothers were able to coach their daughters.
So I've talked to a lot of, and actually I would love to have had Haley on this podcast to talk about it because it really was an okay thing. It wasn't a thing. And one of the things she said at her Duke, not interview, but one of her visits was that like one of the best things that ever happened to me is that my mom coached me, which I think both of us being able to separate it was just so healthy, but also so rewarding as well. Being there with her, talking things through. Like she would come to my office, she would go home and talk to me on the back porch or whatever, and it was just really, it was okay. So
I hope the young coaches that hear this, like taking, because we're losing so many good people in coaching. When they become moms, they step away.
yeah,
And I never did. I always was involved in hockey.
yeah,
Let's hope that I think at least if I didn't have the opportunity to coach her, but at least watch her.
right. Yeah, that's what was so nice about her when she went to Duke is being that mom in the stands that just clapping,
Yep.
not saying a word, not coaching her. She would come over after the game and she's like, "What do you think?" I'm like, "You played great. What do you
Yeah.
think?" Of course, her dad is like, "Why didn't you?" I'm like, "God."
But
They
that's
just
what the expression I got with, I love to watch you play. Say that to all the players. I just love to watch you play.
Yeah,
No matter how you play. So,
yeah,
but
that's nice. So yeah, 2 great backgrounds. So now we have our Chick Farm Player of the Week, Lily Scott. So I interviewed Lily yesterday and somehow I flubbed it up. So sorry, Lily. But she's an adorable little child. She's a sophomore midfielder from Kempsville High School. She has 10 goals and 5 assists on the year. Coach Amber Jones says Lilly is a natural-born hockey player, leader, and game changer. Her humility and tenacity is truly a gift, and Kempsville is fortunate to call her family. All right, let's go to commercial.
What makes a life a good one? Is it our adventures? Or the friends we find along the way? Is it the challenges we conquer together? Maybe it's the people's lives we touch every single day. So, what makes a life a good one? You'll have to figure that one out for yourself.
Yes!
Oh, here we go. Here we go. Boom. First down. Let's go.
Rosen's on time! Touchdown, Texas!
Any gate can be a tailgate.
Authentic Italian cuisine can be found in just one place in Hampton Roads, Il Giardino Ristorante in Virginia Beach. Il Giardino offers veal, seafood, chicken, pasta, vegetarian, and pizza creations. Add the sounds of the piano bar and lounge, and it's no wonder Il Giardino is such a popular local spot. Open daily at 5 p.m.
For any athlete, making it to the top sometimes comes with a few steps back. That's why there's CHKD Sports Medicine. Advanced diagnostics, treatment, and rehabilitation for sports injuries, just for young athletes like yours.
At Atomic Wings, we prioritize real chicken with fresh, all-natural, never-frozen ingredients, all packed with serious flavor. Order from over 15 awesome flavors at atomicwings.com.
Kova Painting. We don't just paint, we transform spaces. Visit kovapainting.com or call 757-550-7357 and mention the Sportsplex for 10% off of projects over $1,000.
What is more? Is it more reps, more strength, more stamina? We say it's all of that, but it's greater than just what's in the mirror. It's about improving your mental and physical health. More is a feeling of achievement, fulfillment, confidence. It's looking better, feeling better, being better, and it's our mission to get you there. Because here, you are more. One Life Fitness.
Portco is your local nonprofit organization dedicated to economic empowerment through employment for people with disabilities. We focus on abilities, not limitations, providing on-the-job vocational support. Find your pathway to employment. Contact us or learn more at portco.org.
again, welcome back. We had on last week, we had on Ashley Weaver from Hickory High School, the coach out there. And after the podcast was over, she was asking us for coaching advice. We've been on this planet for a very long time, and got me to thinking that this week we should be talking about our words of wisdom to the younger coaches out there. I don't think there's anybody that's our age out there coaching.
Oh, there are a few.
You?
Yeah, there are a few. But yeah, agree.
So, but there's mostly younger coaches now. So let's get into why we do this podcast and, what words of wisdom for the younger coaches out there. I'm probably going to go completely off script on this one, but you go ahead first. I'll let you go first as far as what you think is most important.
Hold up.
Your number 5, I think, is probably a good way to start off.
Okay. Right. Okay. First and foremost, I think you need to create the culture for your team, a culture that you value, that you think is important. Demand a hard work ethic in every area, not just field hockey. And I used to say this all the time in my practices before games. Just don't settle for being an average person in the classroom, on the field, at work, in life in general. Do not settle for being average. I think it's very important. All right. I feel like I'm off a little bit. To be fit and in shape. My first year going to First Colonial, they didn't think they were that good. And like, we're going to be the fittest team out there, so we're not going to be beat by that. And that year we actually finished first in the beach. And like, we didn't kill people, but it was like 3-2, 2-1 overtime, 1-0 overtime, those kind of games. 100% effort at all times, more so even in practice.
Yeah, I think definitely have to be, because if you're not going to practice hard and the team wants to beat you, they're going to be practicing harder to beat you.
Right.
Definitely. I agree with that one. And I definitely agree with the culture, consistency. We used to, for 35 years that I was coaching at NA, we did the same warm up day in and day out. And I always
knew
was
it.
the same. Yeah, they knew it. And ball skills are key. They
Fundamental.
have to have good, solid ball skills. And like you said with fitness, if we may have been tactically better or technically better, but fitness wise, if you're not better than anybody, you're going to have to, you'll suffer. So fitness is key.
Right. The last thing I would say to all coaches is develop a quality schedule. Like my first year, I did this. And I did lose to outside teams. I didn't lose to anybody in the beach, but I think if you're going to be the best, you got to play the best.
Yeah.
I've always said that. And I always had a very, very, very tough schedule, even when we weren't super strong, even though we were always very strong. There are some years that we weren't particularly strong, but I'm still going to play NA. I'm still going to play Trinity. I'm still going to, teams I need to play.
It helps you in postseason so much.
Oh,
the
absolutely.
first year I took over at Academy, we got Cox on the schedule, Nancy Folks. And I remember driving over. Back then, I had to drive the van or the bus. And the girls were like, Coach Workhouse, you have to pull over. We're going to vomit. We're going to vomit. I'm like, no, you're not. You're going to be fine. No. And on Lesnar Bridge, now the girls they deny they did this. And I'm like, I know specifically who puked over Lesnar Bridge. And they were so nervous. But we lost that game 3-0, but came out of it. We're like, we're actually okay. We can do this.
Right.
And, it took us a few years before we were able to beat Cox. But we got to that point.
I remember the first time you did. I don't think you beat. I think you beat them when Julie was there.
Yes. We never beat him when Nancy was there. I don't think anybody.
Yeah, and I don't think Julie had at her first few years she had a tough time, but then she figured it out. She got it together. Yeah, she did a great job. All right.
I don't remember who it was that was playing for Cox at the time. I don't think we were ever, because Taylor Ray, in my opinion, is one of the nicest players that has come out of this area, and I don't think we were there.
She was a freshman when I was at Morey the year that we lost them at States.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. No, I think it was after. Yeah, it was after her. Yeah, for sure.
But some of the other things I would say, as far as I can remember in my early years of nerves getting the best of me and getting the best of players, as I just previously mentioned. But to maintain that calmness, and have to be able to handle all those tough situations that come up. And the kids see what you're doing out there.
Yeah.
And if you're yelling and screaming and going crazy on the sidelines, that
They're
tends
doing
to
it.
follow right out there on the field.
Right.
If they see somebody calm on the sideline, them.
Yeah.
I remember a couple of players saying when I was younger, and let's go, you have to move and get it, blah, blah. And they were like, Coach Werkheiser, please chill. You're making us more. And I'm like, okay, I'll take that under advisement. And I do. I listen to the kids, what they say. I think, to be that all around coach, you do have to be present in their life outside of the hockey field. They have to know, you can yell at them and you can scream at them and get in their face. And I have done that, but they know that I love them. And if you're not present in their life outside of school, if you're not cheering them on when they're on the debate team or when they're on the soccer field and all that, they see that. They see that you care.
Yeah.
That's
Coaching definitely should be 24/7. And sadly, I don't think it's that way with a lot of programs. I mean, it's a year-round job
yes.
that we get paid so much for.
Maybe in the public school? No.
No, not in the public school.
Well, I remember the first year when I was taking over to Academy and somebody in the public school was telling me, I guess the salary was $3,500 at the time. And I was like, well, my salary is $600. But it was, your teaching salary and then your coaching salary. And coach in the private school just didn't have the resources. But now it's a lot different. But yeah, it's definitely has changed. And then here is my number 4. I said there's times where you're going to have to throw your practice agenda out the window and just totally deflect. I remember a couple times you could just feel the tension on the team. And, I always think it's important that the team is on the same page. If somebody isn't on the same page, it just tears down that whole continuity that you have going. And we had a couple of tough losses in a row, and we shouldn't have lost them, or at least they were games. They were
winnable,
formidable players, formidable teams, but we did lose them. And I said, okay, we're meeting in the pool. And
you guys have a pool?
Yeah, we have a pool. And we took them back to the pool, and we just jumped in the pool in our practice garb. And everybody just started laughing and getting giddy and all that kind of thing. And it changed the demeanor for the rest of the season. Just that one little simple thing. There was one time in my son, senior year of high school, was helping me coach. And I were out on the field, and I was like, done with you ladies. I am absolutely done. We're going in the classroom. And I was giving it to them and all that. And so we got in the classroom, and I walk in with my son and did Britney Spears karaoke. And my son came in, and it was the day before we were playing Cape Henry. And he came in a red skirt, and he was
Cole?
Yeah, he was wearing a red skirt, imitating Cape Henry players, and then broke into Britney Spears, whatever song she had going on at the same time. And everybody first at the meeting, they were scared to death, like, Werkheiser, what is going on? She's going to yell at us. And then the next thing they see us, breaking into karaoke. And it just, we walloped Cape Henry that game. And that's when they had Kelsey Scherer and Aaron Scherer and all the big players. So that definitely set a tone for the rest of the season. And then after that, they were like, what are you going to do next? And I'm like, this is not going to be a weekly occurrence. No way.
That's funny.
So just some of those crazy things, I think, meant the world to the girls.
Yeah, I think they need to see your real side.
Yeah.
I'm firm, but like you said, love them.
The last thing I did, I missed this part of it, that I had Brooke Betancourt, and that was 2 years ago, and undefeated, going into state finals, and they felt the tension. Like, they knew they had to win. They knew all the pressure was on them. And the 3 coaches and I, Laura Simica, Gibson, Catherine McCallum, and I, we went in there and sang Tina Turner's Best. And they were like looking around like this. And then all of a sudden the cell phones come out and all that. And I'm like, if any of you put this on social media. But I loved having a good time with the kids. I miss that part.
Yeah, I do too. I also miss the competitive. I don't miss some of the other stuff. I do miss that a lot. Okay, let's go into the qualities of a good team.
Oof.
Okay.
Yeah. I think first and foremost, the skill set. You have to have a team with solid fundamentals.
Oh yeah, for sure.
And I have had, and this kind of leads into number 2 as far as the physicality. I think you have a physical team. I have had teams in the past that were so pretty in their skill set. They could, make pretty passes, dodges. But pretty passes are just that if you can't get the ball in the net, if you can't create a corner situation. And I think you have to have those two things, the physical side of it as well as the skill set, I think is key.
Also, being physical is not being dirty.
No. I'm not saying being dirty at all. Definitely.
No, it's two separate things for sure.
Yes.
So being physical is legal. You can do that.
Right.
I agree. I think physicality is important. I mean, it's tough though, because it's something you really can't teach.
No, not at all. And I can remember yelling at teams, not yelling, but talking to teams that you got to get in there. You can't let them just win the ball every time. You've got to get your stick on it.
Right.
And, I believe in physicality as being a positive attribute.
Agree.
So, I think you have to have solid leadership. And I've said for so many years to our team that you are only as good as your senior leadership. And if your senior leadership, and it doesn't matter if they're on the bench or on the field,
right?
They've got to have calm heads. They've got to be one to take situations, because you can't be out there all the time yelling at them. That they've got to take that situation.
Right. Right. I agree. I think, and I keep saying this, and I've preached it wherever I've been, is that you've got to be fit. You have to be fit. You've got to be able to go 60 minutes, especially in high school. You've got to be able to go 60 minutes. I remember one game very early on, Haley must have been, I don't know, freshman or sophomore. And she got a really bad cramp. She's like, Mom, I got to come out. I'm like, nope.
You're not coming
I'm looking
out,
at my
girl.
bench. I'm like, yeah, I got nothing for you. You can't come out. And she's like, well, and then it was PA, and we went to overtime. And so it must have been really early on. And she's like, what do I do? I'm like, stand in the back. Don't let them score. And then like 5 minutes into the overtime, we got a stroke called for us. So she come limping up, took the stroke, but she was fit. It was a really hot day. I don't remember what it was, but it was just so important. And that's, I mean, since day one of when we start training, we do sprints. I don't even put a hockey stick in their hand.
I'm not a big proponent of, I think kids need to work through their fatigue.
Yeah.
If you're always pulling them out of a game when they get tired, then when it gets to that postseason play and you need them in that game and they're not able to perform because you always take them out, I've always had them work through that. And there's certain players that, I know the college game, they're always rotating players and all that, but I didn't rotate. They're the key players, they played 60 minutes.
Oh,
they never came out.
100%. And that was what I would talk about being fit. I'm like,
Yeah.
you need to go into a game thinking you're playing 60 minutes because you're not coming out.
Right.
Or you might, but I doubt it. So yeah, I agree with you there. The other thing I do think is also super important is being a good teammate. So what do you think that entails?
Being a good teammate. I think one for first part of it is holding your teammates accountable. I think as a senior, even a junior, you need to go up to them and say, hey, we expect you to get that ball. We expect you to be in this position. We expect you. There's nothing wrong with that. We've had kids in the past that have delivered it probably,
right?
Of course, but take the words they're saying and not how they're saying. Sometimes in the heat of the moment, it just comes out. And they're only 16, 17 years old.
Yeah.
But
I even think at the collegiate level, you've got to hold each other accountable.
Yeah. Sure. And there's the part where, we always say play the game for your seniors. Look up to them. How you don't want to let them down.
Yeah, I agree. Well, that's all I got. Anything else?
Can't think of anything else.
Okay, so let's go into our top 10 for the week of October 5. Okay, number 1, Tab.
I've yet to see them play, but I will reluctantly, since we haven't lost a game, I will put them as number 1 as well.
And they're killing everybody.
Yeah.
Number 2, NA. They got a huge game today against Richmond Collegiate. I'm excited to see that.
A good game.
Yeah. And Norfolk Academy. What's it called? The dedication ceremony?
Yes, today is their dedicated honor.
That's awesome. Number 3, Cox, for sure. They beat Great Bridge last night in double overtime, 1-0.
Big game.
Yeah. And then number 4, I have Great Bridge, who they just beat Hickory. Was that overtime? No, it was 2-1 in regulation, right?
2-1 regulation.
Okay, so we're going to play the video right now with the Great Bridge coaches.
Okay, Coach, you had a big win tonight. What do you attribute it to?
Well, conversions on corners, for sure. It's taken a lot of years, but I finally have a team that can convert some corners.
They did really well back there. And your number 19 on the defensive end is so calm under pressure.
Is that Bella?
That's Bella, I think.
Yeah, Bella.
Yeah.
She's very stoic.
Yes, very stoic. What year is she?
She's a junior.
A junior?
A junior. Yeah,
So
she's
was this a
great player.
big match for the city of Chesapeake?
Yeah, I guess so. This year, yeah.
Yeah.
And I mean, we're rivals. So, and a lot of those girls came up from the middle school, and that was, kind of a big deal in the spring. And so all those girls are up here at varsity together now.
Is your squad young?
Yeah, we're pretty young. We have one senior.
One senior. Oh, wow, that's good for the future.
It's what, 1 senior, 2, 3 freshmen,
That are starting.
3 or 4 sophomores.
Yeah. So yeah, pretty young.
So it was a great game to get under your belt. Who's next?
Cox tomorrow.
Oh, Cox again here.
Yes, we'll be back out here tomorrow.
Okay. So hopefully I'll be interviewing again tomorrow night.
See, yeah,
So
on to the
thank
next
you and
one.
good luck.
Thank
Congrats.
you. Thanks.
All right, congrats, Katie Duke and Jim Duke on that win. Sorry about last night. Number 5 will be Hickory. Hickory beat Nansen River 5-4. They lost to Pocosin a couple weeks ago, 2-1 in double overtime. Number 6 I have is Nansen River. What do you think?
They have some quality kids out there. I'd like to see. I have not been able to see them play, but based on that one.
Okay. 7 Pocosin. They beat Gloucester last week or the week before 3-1, I believe. And then number 8 I have Gloucester. 9 I have Catholic. They've lost to Richmond Collegiate and they lost to Norfolk Academy, but they've also beaten some pretty good teams.
Yeah, I hear Lindsay has a solid team here.
Yeah, she does.
I think they're a solid second. Yes.
Yeah, I would agree. I agree. So I'm sure they'll be playing here for the championship against Norfolk Academy. And then number 10, I have First Colonial. I said this last week too. After 8 or 7, I kind of just, it changes quite a bit. Senior All-Star game is set for November 19th here at 6 p.m. I've reached out to coaches all over the place. If you want to send me some of your nominations that you have not yet, please do. Email me at beanie@beachsportsplex.com or call me or text me or whatever. I think everyone has my phone number. We'll be getting a lot of the Ring of Honor people to be officiating and coaching those games. And I'll be sending out an email with the list soon with the waiver and all that jazz. All right. Anything else?
And again, coaches that are listening, if you have any input, please send it to beanie@sportsplex.com. So,
Or if you want to be on our podcast as a guest, let us know that as well. We'd love to have you. All right. Thank you so much. Have a great week.